I have opened up Photoshop and we are going to create a fully animated character for our um, custom game that we're going to be making. You can make your character any way you'd like, but I would suggest keeping it simple. I've opened up this animation that we've already created for Flappy Bird, and I'm going to use this to modify. So we already have a block. We already have some thrust coming out when it jumps. What I'm going to do now is create, I'm going to go back to, if I open my layers, I can see my original block right here. And I'm going to create a side thrust. So when your character walks, you will see a thrust coming out of the side as if it's being pushed. So first step, I'm going to my image, canvas size. I'm in pixels. And for the width, I will do 46. Gonna command minus to zoom out. Now on my layer 1, I have it highlighted. I'll click Command T so I can drag this over. Now I'm going to shrink my vertical boxes so I don't have this blank space on the top. So hit enter, and now I will image, canvas size, pixels, height we'll make back. I think we were at 28 before. Proceed. No. Canvas size. Try 22. There we go, 22. So we have a tight collision box on the top. So what I'll do now is make my thrust. I'll just take the pen tool, stick with red. So thrust 1 will look like, I don't know, I'll just make 2 lines come out like that. I'll add another frame. Let me layer this. Thrust 1. Layer 2. Actually, the easiest thing, scratch just making a new layer. I'm going to trash that. Right click on thrust 1 and say duplicate. Okay. So now if we turn thrust 1 off, we can see it's exactly the same as thrust 2. So on thrust 2, I'm just going to make sure you're on thrust 2 here, not accidentally drawing on thrust 1. I'm going to extend these thrusters. Maybe I'll start it here and move it out to here. Something like that. Before I duplicate that, I'm going to erase this part. Oops. Make this eraser a little smaller. I'll erase a few pixels of initial thrust. Now I'll duplicate thrust 2. Name it thrust 3. Hide that, and then thrust 3. Maybe I'll start from here, and oops, I'm on the eraser. Switch back to my pencil, and thrust 3 I'll have go out like that or something. And then I'll take the eraser and erase some of these lines here.
Base 2103, Steve, could you check room number 132? It's overheating.
Give that some particles there. So now as I toggle these on and off, you can see how my novice animation will look like engine is firing as your character moves towards the right of the screen. So what I will do here now, I'm going to export these 3 images as PNG files. So take thrust 1 only, file, export as PNG, thrust 1, save, turn off thrust 1, turn on thrust 2, export as PNG, thrust 2, turn that off, turn on thrust 3, thrust 3. When we get into stencil, we can flip this around so we don't have to redraw this character moving to the right. So that's a simple way to make a frame by frame. You could make legs slowly moving back and forth if you wanted this to walk. I'm just staying with a thrust because I have weak artistic abilities.